I want to make sure it should. Oh yeah, it's working. It's turning. Okay, good. It's working. Okay, so we're gonna start driving now.
Okay.
And I picked a place called Dreher Island State Park, which people should find kind of nice. Okay, so anyway, for everybody listening, I'm gonna check my glasses again. Yep, they're recording. I'm not gonna let. Man, that pisses me off. That's happened a couple times where I did these interviews and I lost recordings. Okay, so anyway, for nobody that don't know, for people that don't know, Steve Klein is the guy who started the drama with Ken Tankersley, because Ken Tankersley, I mean, I'll let you address it, but just as a brief introduction, Ken Tankersley was the associate, I guess you'd say, of Forrest Fenn. He's an archaeologist, and he claimed Forrest Fenn showed him, Ken, the location where Fenn said he wanted to die. And that was kind of like, so Ken Tankersley basically said he knew where the treasure was. And when Steve brought up those emails, it was a little bit of a tempest in a teapot with the Forrest Fenn community. But I guess that's all over with, right, Steve? Nothing to...
No, I mean, my brother still has some emails that he hasn't shared yet.
Yeah, that's right. I remember he mentioned that. That would be cool sometime. But anyway, I'm not keeping up much. I'm going to Dreher Island State Park, 2 miles. I'm not keeping up, as you know, that much with all the drama because it's all turned into silly shit like D.B. Cooper and stuff. But is there anything out there going on at all?
Well, KPro and they did a show yesterday or last night.
Yeah.
And I guess all the lawsuits are ending or coming to an end or whatever. So apparently now, I guess they're insinuating that the treasure is going to be sold piece by piece once these lawsuits are over with. Yeah, that's what I said.
You mean the treasure that's in the Heritage Auction House in Dallas, or yeah, what's his name? Jason couldn't buy it, or Justin couldn't buy it because they outbid him, the entity outbid him and all that shit. That same treasure, now it's going to be broken up into parts. Okay. Well, it's always something new, you know?
Right, and not only that, I guess Shiloh is going to write a book now.
That's right. Cynthia said that, right?
Yeah, that's what she says. But my thing is this, right? They say Shiloh is more like Forrest Fenn. He cares about the community and all that blah, blah, blah shit. Well, if Fenn cared about the community, he could have gave up the answers before he died.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So now what you're insinuating is we got to wait for Fenn's grandson to write a book. Once the book is written, now we have to buy that book.
Yeah.
To get the answers that for the book that we bought from Forrest Fenn.
And who even knows what those answers will be?
I mean, the shit just don't make sense, man. And then not only that, if Shiloh's writing a book, that means he's going against his grandpa's wishes, right?
I'm not.
If Forrest Fenn said he's going to leave it up to the solver.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I was just going to remind everybody that Forrest Fenn, before the thing was found, Forrest Fenn said he didn't care if the finder revealed where it was, and then that was what he had said going to his grave, and then suddenly, in the end, we hear from the finder, Jack, that, Forrest didn't want me to tell the location. Well, Forrest Fenn never said that. You know, Jack Stoof revised a lot of history, and people will even quote Jack Stoof and say, Forrest didn't want the location revealed. And I go, no, Forrest never said that. He said he'd leave it up to the finder. If the finder had said he was going to reveal it, apparently Forrest was okay with it.
Yeah, I think all that was done to... I don't know, man. I think Jack was just a way to keep people away from his family.
Yep. That's exactly right.
Don't blame my family for not telling you where it was. You know, that I left it up to Jack. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know.
It's kind of like what Barb Anderson said. Jack was a prank actor. He was like the whole thing was a prank at the end, and he was an actor at the end. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, I think probably Jack's just part of an S Corp that has the treasure, and so he's a shareholder, and maybe they paid him off for the gold. Remember in that interview, Fenn said he only said he gives you title to the gold. Maybe they paid him for the gold, but and I've asked a lot of people about whether they think Forrest Fenn, what the hell is this? Don't tell me I got to talk to a guard. What is admissions? I got to pay for this?
Were you going to Mexico?
I'm going to,
Or Puerto Rico?
oh my gosh, I guess I am going to pay for this. Or am I?
Nah, just drive through, man.
You must be seeing my glasses, because I just did drive through. There's nobody there. You want to know something cool? You know, I do this IT work on the side sometimes. They now can get on, like sometimes you have to work with remote support, you know, other technicians that work for the company or whatever, and they now can get on your phone and use your video camera. So you can work with them and use your camera, and they can actually see what you're doing in the store.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. But anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead. I think but a lot of people think Fenn did commit suicide. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I mean, the way they made it sound when they written the article or whatever, it sounded like he committed suicide.
Yeah, snoring. People mentioned he was snoring when they found him, which people say is a sign of sleeping pills.
Sleeping pills. Fentanyl does that. I mean, you know.
Yeah. And of course, people talk about Peggy, and he would never leave Peggy. I think at the end of that, I think by the time Forrest Fenn and she left this planet, I'm not sure they were having the greatest relationship anyway. I think that whole family was torn up by that chase, and I think it really fucked up everybody's relationships. And all that shit with the women on the side, I mean, she probably heard some of that. And, you know, regardless of, it might have been just kind of half-assed, kind of dirty old man kind of looking at, you know, pictures of women. Still, that's not too cool, you know, for people of their age. It had to seem kind of sleazy to her if she heard about it.
Yeah, I would have been pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that was my mom. You know what I'm saying? If that was my mom and my dad was just bringing people through it, I'd have beat the shit out of my father. I mean, that's just me, man. Like, you're not going to disrespect my mom like that, man.
Well, see, and I think that's exactly the kind of feelings that were going on in that family. You have that angle, and then you have all that shit with people trying to, you know, break into their house and possibly hack their computers. Yeah. Yeah. It turned into a monster. It turned into a monster, that whole chase.
Yeah, the chase would have been over as soon as somebody tried to kidnap my grandkid.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
It would have been over. And that's why I don't believe I don't know, man. And then now they're showing a picture with a shovel, a fucking rock,
yeah, the white rock.
The white crack rock, yeah.
That looks almost painted.
Yeah, it looks painted. It looks real painted. It looks paper mache-ish.
And that was Cynthia Meacham again, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is something else that's funny. Like, she showed a picture of her sitting in Forrest Fenn's office, right?
I didn't see that.
Well, I remember seeing it, or they showed it right before they showed the shovel, or I might be mistaken, but I don't think I am. But I remember they told a story about when KPro, they hid KPro in a suitcase and put her in the back of a car or some shit. I don't know.
They did not hide her. You could not hide KPro in a suitcase, Steve. Come on, let's be real.
Well,
it would be a large trunk.
Well, they hit her, right?
They hit her in the...
I don't understand either. Like I told you in our last conversation, like, if you pull up on my drive when you got somebody hitting your back seat, there's a good chance that whole car is about to get shot up. You know what I mean? Like, that's just weird behavior. You know what I mean? Like, who hides in the... You're a grown-ass woman hiding in the back seat?
KPro does not have any shame. I'm sure she hurt her relation. That didn't do Cynthia any favors to hitchhike KPro in the back seat like that, because we know that when
I mean, I don't even believe that story, man. I just don't believe it.
Well, you may be right, but supposedly, you know, Shiloh was caught off guard when he opens the door and there's KPro, and he was kind of like, you know, you and I need to talk.
That sounds like a movie. Like, who's gonna say that? Like, I'm gonna punch you in your mouth first. Like, what are you doing, sneaking in my yard? Like, I'm like, the first thing out my mouth is gonna be like, hey, we need to talk. Come on. Hey, but anyway, what I was getting to was they got into the house or whatever, but they said that the Forrest Fenn's study was locked, like was bolted shut, padlocked shut. But Cynthia has a picture of her in the office. Like, I just can't keep up with their shit, man. I can't keep up with it, man.
People have said along through the years that Cynthia was almost his right-hand woman, and that she did a lot of correspondence for him, and she kind of checked his emails. He gave her a lot of power for whatever reason. And people speculate about what she did for him, which is, you know, who will ever know, but...
I don't know. And then, But hold on, but before I go, at least I don't think KPro believes that rock picture, though. I don't think she does.
Who could could believe it? It's so stupid. A rock.
Oh, then they said that was the blaze that confused Jack for 25 days. I don't know, and they said it confused him because it was a pirate theme. Like, what are you, a pirate theme? What are you not talking about, man?
You know, that whole thing with the rock, when I first got into the chase in 2017, and I read that poem for the first 10 times or whatever it was, I and a lot of people online were saying, you know, it sounds like it could be a big white rock. I mean, that was the simplest idea everyone came up with, was the blaze was a big white rock. And here it is in the end, and it's not even a big rock, it's a little white rock. Man,
that's something that somebody... I mean, if you look at the picture, you can see the grass is pushed down. There's no weathering built up around the rock. There's no weathering on the rock. The bone looks like it's been weathered in the desert. You know, bones weather differently when they're in the... Like, I've found bones before walking creeks and shit. And the bones you find in the creek are different colors than the bones you find in a vegetative area or in the desert. They weather differently, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. It's just bullshit. And then you got Ben, the fucking archaeologist that's going on. I don't know, man. It's just weird, man.
No, I think I've told you many times, I think you have the most common sense look at a lot of this stuff. And usually your conclusion is it's bullshit, which I believe it is. And I believe everyone should understand it usually turns out to be bullshit. Cynthia Meacham just keeps herself in the middle of this shit, going on and on with new revelations and new things she's found. She's always in the middle of this stuff. The GPS solve.
It always comes from... And my thing is this, like, if Shiloh's a grown man, right?
Yeah.
If I have something to say, I'm going to say it. Why is he speaking through these females?
Well, because supposedly they showed up and caught him, and he was in a mood to talk. I don't know. That's kind of what they said.
Yeah, after you snuck into his property. You got it. You know, I mean, it just don't make sense, man. I don't know, bro. I think we've been had, man.
Yeah, we have been had.
We've been scammed for a long time.
Now, I asked you this once before. I think you said you weren't sure whether or not the treasure was ever out there, or did you say you thought? I always thought it was out there until the end, and then I thought they had it pulled.
See, this is my thing, right? I got into the chase, and I got my brother into the chase, right? We both were reading this poem, and we said, man, this shit don't take you nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, it don't take you anywhere. It takes you wherever your imagination wants it to take you.
Right. Right.
So we said, fuck the poem. Well, my bad. We said, forget the poem.
I should tell everyone that Steve Klein is on prohibitive language watch because his language is so bad, and so is mine, that between the both of us, it sounds like a bunch of drunken sailors just talking about the last being at a horror house in a port of call or something. It's just pretty bad. So we're trying to watch our language.
So we said forget the palm, right?
Right.
So we already knew, well, my brother knows Ken a lot better than me, you know?
Right.
So we both knew that Ken was a friend of our father's.
Ken Tankersley, everybody's
Right.
talking about
Yeah.
Ken Tankersley.
Yeah, so we said forget the palm, we're going to try to find a weak link in the chain with one of Forrest's friends. And so that's when we started communicating with Ken, and that's when he started talking about, and I think I even sent KPro email a long time ago when I sent it to Ken emails. I said, and this is before Forrest Fenn announced the state. And I said, if Ken isn't lying, it was found in Taos, New Mexico or in Wyoming. I mean, that ain't saying much, but that's when I started to believe, like, maybe he did tell Ken, you know?
Yeah.
So, but who knows, man? Ken, I don't know, man. Who knows? I don't know. There might have been a chest out there. I don't know.
Doug Preston said that Forrest told him where it was, and then Forrest got all bent out of shape when someone said Doug was saying that. I don't have any doubt that Forrest ran his mouth all the time. The guy was a ham. He could not get... People said this guy that used to go to breakfast in Santa Fe with Fenn and some other kind of people in town that were kind of big in the town. He said they would go to this place for breakfast, and he said Fenn loved to be the center of attention. He wanted to be the center of attention, telling stories the whole time.
Yeah, they always... I mean, the book was about him telling all the stories. You know
well, that's true. That's true.
So, who's this? And I know Ken and Forrest, they met at Cody, you know, when Fenn was doing speeches at the museum. Ken would be there. Ken would be doing stuff for the museum. So who's to say one day when they're not out doing what they do, Forrest says, hey, man, I want to show you something.
Exactly.
I mean, he showed it to him in the vault, so why wouldn't he show it to him out in the wilderness?
Exactly. Man, I just went through a group of the whitest people you ever saw.
And my thing is this, right? If Forrest never said anything to Ken about it, why'd he make a big deal about it? Like, why'd he let me see the emails Ken's talking about and all that weird stuff? If that's even true, see, I don't know what KPro and them were writing to Ken. I don't even know if they wrote to Ken. I don't know. So I don't know what they have.
I had someone else tell me that I had some woman tell me that she wrote me and she said she has a bunch of emails from Ken Tankersley.
Who, Candy?
Was it Candy? I didn't know it was Candy, but it was some woman, and she said, "Oh, I've had many emails with." You know, it was just a private message. Like I agree with some of what you're saying. I've had a lot of emails from Ken Tankersley. I didn't follow up on it.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if Ken actually knew the spot, and then when it was found, and then when you emailed him saying you want to do an interview, I don't know if he got scared because he knew he was lying.
Right.
Or because he really knew the spot.
Yeah, and because he spilled the beans.
Right.
Yeah, it could have been either one, but boy, he really came down on me with that lawsuit shit. I thought, but, you know, whatever. I don't know. It seemed like, well, you and I even said at the time that we felt he was really overreacting. I mean...
It's a treasure hunt, man. I mean, why is it this serious?
True.
It's a treasure hunt. Why is this so serious, man? Why can't we get any answers?
That's what I've been saying. It's like the secrets to Fort Knox or the nuclear code to blow up a planet. You know, it's like it's just a treasure. And now, after that stuff with Justin Posey, what was he saying? Even though that whole story with the entity seemed kind of bullshit, he said it was what, 1.1 million? Like someone said, that's not even that much in today's. I mean, for me, it would be a big deal. But you know, it is true in today's money. I mean, we got hundreds of billionaires with hundreds of billions of dollars, and here this is 1.1 million. And everybody was talking about 3 million, 5 million.
And now they don't even talk about it anymore.
It's got to go away sooner or later, but for me, and the reason...
I even heard from Justin Posey. I mean, is he okay? Last I heard from him, people were walking in his driveway or something.
Oh
Did he get kidnapped or raped or
yeah, that's right. There was
something?
something.
He just disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. People were in his driveway. Scary stuff. It's a lot of drama going on. People were in my driveway. That's right. There was a guy at the top of his driveway looking at him.
Right.
Shoot, the other day I drove out and one of my tires had lost 7 pounds and I couldn't find any punctures. Now, how the hell does that happen? I drove.
Right.
I think someone's neighbor, their little kid, their grandkid, came over and was playing with my tires. I can't prove it, but anyway,
It's possible.
it's always shit going on in your driveway.
Right. So I don't know. It's like they'll bring up something and they'll never talk about it again. It's weird. Like with all the hacking shit. Like apparently Candy's lights were getting turned off. It just gets crazy, man. I don't know.
I hadn't heard that. Her lights are getting turned off.
I don't know if it was true or not, but I heard people were like, oh, then remember what Ben said, he was talking to some guy off, what the fuck, what was it, Reddit? I don't know what it was, but they pinged Jack's phone and they knew where his location was and all that. Remember that?
I don't remember that. I probably didn't read it, but...
Yeah, they said they were pinging Jack's location.
Well, there was a group on Reddit. They were the ones that claimed that they put the rat virus on Forrest Fenn's computer. That was a Reddit group that was trying to find the treasure. Where the fuck am I going here? Park exit, right.
I don't know. And then the DB Cooper. I like DB Cooper, but I don't like him as Forrest Fenn.
He sure doesn't look like him, but we know that he put on makeup. He put on brown contacts. He chain smoked cigarettes, even though he doesn't smoke.
He had to put blackface on too.
Yeah, he put on blackface. He had brown contacts in. He put on. He smoked cigarettes there to fake him out because KPro claims that some stewardess saw that he wasn't inhaling. So obviously that means it's Forrest Fenn, and that's bullshit anyway. FBI, I read the FBI transcripts. None of that was in the FBI transcripts. And then, of course, he was chugging back bourbon and Coke or some shit. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, I don't know. Then he used that money to buy the fucking, my bad, I keep doing it.
I know, me too.
He used the money to buy
the studio, yeah. The what do you call it? The books, the art dealer shop. Yeah, that's where he got it from. He said, Peggy, you know, we're a little short on cash and I really want to buy this place in Santa Fe. I'm going to be gone for a couple days. Thanksgiving, by the way, so I hope you don't mind me being gone on Thanksgiving. And I'm going to go steal $200,000 to buy this art dealership. Yeah, that really sounds like something Forrest Fenn would do.
Right. And oh, by the way, I'm going to take this brown shoe polish.
And I'm going to change the shape of my head, too.
Oh, my God, man. I don't know. And then Ben and them went out to the desert, found a car. What else happened? And they stopped talking about it after that.
Well, someone told them privately. I won't mention the name of the person, and if you know who it is, don't mention it either, please. But okay. Someone figured out that wasn't the car. They figured out the cowl was not the right cowl. It was a different cowl. They figured it out by actually studying. I mean, the efforts that some of these people in the Fenn community put into it, but they were able to figure out that the plant that was making the cowl they claimed was on that car was not even had stopped making it years earlier or something. So that what they claimed to be evidence was not even.
About the Fisher body tag, the paint body tag.
I wasn't exactly sure what he was saying it was, but he just said the cowl was definitely not the cowl that they claimed they had found out there. Because even when they showed the evidence of it, I guess a lot of the the decal, not the indentations and stuff were, I don't know if they blurred it out or something, but bottom line is that car was not what they claimed it was. So maybe they just thought.
What were they saying the car was?
car had something to do. Now you're asking me for more knowledge than I even know. The car had to do with D.B. Cooper had a car. You know, he ended up in Reno or something. You know, all that shit about him jumping out in what, Oregon, and his money being found up in the river by that kid, that 8-year-old kid. Well, I was asking questions like, well, what about the fact the money, because this person said, well, you know, D.B. Cooper, the theory is that he ended up in Reno. He took the plane down to Nevada. And I said, well, then what about that? Yeah, and then I said, well, what about that money that this kid found, you know, years later in the bank that was traced back to the money that was on the, you know, the thing?
The Columbia River.
Yeah, and this guy goes, oh, he planted it.
Oh,
He planted it, and some 8-year-old kid found it 20 years later. That was a plant? I mean, the shit is so fucking ridiculous. I know I'm using language, but it's hard not to. It's just so stupid. God, folks. You know, I started off this whole thing by talking about confirmation bias when I first got into this in 2017. And not long afterwards, it seemed like everybody was talking about confirmation bias. And all these guys are doing is confirmation bias. They make everything fit. They make everything fit their story. You can give them flat evidence to prove they're wrong, and they're just like, nope. He did put on brown makeup. He did put in brown contacts. And you're going, no, he didn't. That's just crazy talk.
But one thing about Ben, I never, and I watched his video, and I was one of the people that helped identify the tag. So I know that tag is real, but.
Now, are you talking about a license tag?
No, it's a body and paint tag. It's the Fisher body and paint tag.
This guy was specifically talking about the cowl. The cowl is what, the front bumper? Would that be right?
Well, I mean, it was a rusted piece of nothing. Nothing was left really. So I don't know how he got.
There were only a couple of numbers on there, and those numbers were enough for him to figure out what plant this thing was at, and he figured out by research that the plant it was at had stopped producing that type of cow before D.B. Cooper. So he was very sure of himself, and I think he told him that, and so.
The only numbers though were on there were the paint and body tag. It was the make. You could get the make out of there. The type of sedan it was. I think it was a 4-door, but I'm not sure. I can't really remember.
I shouldn't even talk more about it. You know more about it than I do.
But Ben and them never actually said that was D.B. Cooper's car. They just said.
Oh no. No, you're right.
Yeah. So they just said they found it interesting that the spot they were going to. There happened to be a car there. That's all they said about it. You know what I mean? They weren't trying to.
That's it.
Force people. That's all they really. They never try to force you to believe that it was actually D.B. Cooper's car.
Oh, well then, what's the point?
I guess they went to the desert and found a car. I don't know what the point of. I don't know what the point of.
They went to the desert and found a car. Well, that's something.
I mean, you know, I troll people, but I'm not going to accuse people of something they didn't do. I don't think Ben and them actually try to say.
All right, I got you.
His car.
Okay.
They were just happy, I guess, that they found something there.
That's funny. But
I know the tag is real because I looked it up.
Oh no, the tag was real. That was real. I was just told the tag was not. It would not have been what they thought it would be at the year that they thought it was made. But that's. I really shouldn't have even said anything about it because I know less about it than anybody.
And I think Cracker Jack found out more about it, whatever his name is. Cracker Jack, whatever his name is. The guy with the 6 pages of notes.
Cracker Jack? You're not talking about Copper Dan, are you?
No, Packer Jack, the guy.
Oh, Packer Jack. Yeah, I thought you said Cracker Jack.
Yeah, I got confused.
Because he is white. Well, he is white.
Right.
And he's also a football fanatic, so he is kind of a cracker.
So, yeah. But anyway,
he sells and buys things through Heritage Auction.
Yeah, so you know.
He had a vested interest in making a claim that it was at the Heritage Auction House.
Yeah, and just to make this clear, Heritage did not have the chest. They didn't appraise the chest. They didn't do nothing with that chest.
Yeah, exactly. You and another friend of mine that did the same thing like you did, contacted them, and he took them through the paces. He said, I am going to explain to you who Forrest Fenn is, the whole story, and he did it. And this woman writes back and says, I still have no record of any chest of any kind from Forrest Fenn. You know, the confusion is that, you know, Forrest Fenn, they had used the Heritage Auction House to sell some things. That's all it is.
That's all they did. Somebody thought they were slick. They seen a bunch of objects at that Heritage House, so they tried to spin their story around that Heritage House.
That's right.
That's all it was.
Right?
That's all it was.
I know, you're right. Ooh, I gotta turn around. Well, I think we've actually been able to record this so far. Do you have anything else you want to add to it?
I'm trying to think, man.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time, because on screen, people are just going to see a lot of countryside going by. I took them around a Dreher Island, and there were a bunch of people walking along the roads. There was a deer that ran out.
Oh, let me ask you this. You were at 9 Mile Hole.
Yeah. That was my video, Did I Find the Blaze? That was when I found the rock. Forrest Fenn's dad's rock.
Right. Was there any time in Yellowstone when you were there that you actually felt alone?
No, but...
Okay.
No. In fact, there were times I had to wait for cars go by to do things.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh, man, it was something
Except that what happened was, and it kind of tied in with things that people have said in videos, I had 2 or 3 people private message me, and I don't think any of them were people I knew, except maybe this one guy who would message me sometimes. I guess he still does. And he said, you know, it was another one of those things like, Eric, if you had just gone down the river a little bit from that rock and gone across the river. Now, I will tell you this, that if you go across that river, in other words, the side where the rock is where the road was for the park. But if you go across the river, you're kind of in this scrubby kind of, you know, I mean, there's nothing over there. It's just brush. So if I had gone across the river,
you would have found the treasure?
Well, well, that's what these people were telling me. They said, you just missed it, Eric. You just had to go down the river and go across.
How come they ain't got the treasure?
That's what you always ask these people. They never have an answer for that bullshit. But
oh my God! Oh Jesus, man! You want to talk about the? Oh my God, man! Did you finally look at the guy? I don't even want to say his name, man.
Uh-oh.
I don't even want to give him no limelight. The guy Dave from the East or whatever his name is, the crackhead dude, crackhead from the East or whatever.
What? Dave?
Dave from the East, the guy that says he saw Forrest Fenn's mom.
Oh man, Dave. You know what happened? Well, you saw what happened. I just said no. I didn't realize the guy was kind of loony. And
this guy took something. I guess some people left a memorial, and this dude took something off that memorial, man. He took it.
Wow.
Like he took a cross or something.
Wow.
And he actually believes that Forrest, I don't know, man, like his saw has to do with Superman. Hold on. That's not even the funny part. And Aunt Esther from
moving on up?
No, Aunt Esther, man. Oh my God, the junkyard, Red Fox, man.
Oh man, what's that called? Come on.
Oh my God, man.
Fred's junkyard. No, it wasn't Fred's junkyard.
Sanford and Son.
Yeah, Sanford and Son. He thought that was part of it.
I'm convinced now he has to be trolling people. He has to be.
I think you're right.
He's got to be, man. There's no way that this guy actually believes that, man.
But you also told me to look at his eyes because they're crazy eyes, and they are kind of.
And you know, this guy used to be. He says he was a CO, a corrections officer.
Oh my God, that's not good.
Man, we would have. Hey, I swear to God, man, if he was a corrections officer in the prison I was at, he would have been bringing us in everything we asked for. He would have been bringing in dope, money, everything.
Well,
There's no way that guy is a corrections officer.
I hear you. That's a special breed of people, corrections officers. Did you ever see that show about, it was in New Mexico, where they showed the rookies like starting out at this prison, and they had, man, they saw some of these young people that were starting out as guards. They really got fucked up. This one girl, she got jumped by a prisoner when she and another guard were moving this prisoner, and he slugged her. She ended up quitting her whole career. She was like, I didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, some of these guys got nothing to lose. They're going to slug a cop or a CO. What do they care?
I mean, where I was locked up at when I was at London, Ohio Correctional out here in Ohio, I mean, there were female staff that got raped.
Wow.
I done seen COs get shanked. I mean, I've seen it all, man. You know, it's a dangerous job, man.
I'm going to ask a really it's really going to be a bad politically correct. It's really going to be impolitically correct. But what kind of woman wants to be a correctional officer in a man's prison? I mean, that is like, to me, it just makes me wonder what they're thinking. Are they just nuts or?
Well, there's a lot of
gays.
Yeah, bull dykes or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, that's the politically correct way to say it, Steve. Bull dykes. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that's what they are. You know, they think they're men, and you know.
A lot of women cops are definitely dykes.
Hey, bro, I've seen some big females, man. Like, big, bro. Like,
oh yeah.
They need to be in the UFC or something, man. Like,
oh yeah, definitely. And they're always gay.
Yeah, I mean, some aren't, though, but I mean, you got to realize, like, where most prisons are, they're in small little towns.
Yep.
That's the town's main way of making money.
Yep. You're right.
And you know, some prisons pay pretty good. The benefits are awesome.
Just a second. Can you hold on a second?
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I'm not screwing this up. See, I'm getting better. I almost said I'm going to make sure I'm not fucking this up, but I didn't say that. I said I'm going to make sure I'm not screwing this up. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. So just a second.